Welcome to another episode of League to the Max, or whatever. I am your host, Brian Andesian Espinoza, and joined with me, as always, is the one and only Mr. Eric Watkins. How are you today, sir?
If you want the full honest answer, absolute horseshit. Yay!
Yeah, that kind of sounded like the afternoon I was having, so maybe not the absolute part, but it definitely wasn't good.
Heads up in advance, I'm going to be muting my microphone at different times tonight.
Gotcha. So, things to talk about this week. First of all, we can't get started without acknowledging and wishing Betty White a very happy 100th birthday.
Oh, one more legend gone. Still too soon, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Um, for our viewers who tuned in expecting, regular League to the Max or whatever, welcome to League to the Max or whatever. Emphasis this week a little bit more on the whatever again. Um, we do have some notable news in the league world, and we are going to talk a bit about the lock-in tournament that's going on. Did I say lock-in? Yeah, lock-in. It's been one of those kind of days, folks.
Is it the lock-in tournament because everybody's locked in from the virus?
Oof, hot take. Hot take. That's hot take right off the presses, folks. No, but it probably should be, given the fact that like over half of the teams in this tournament aren't even starting their starting spring split LCS rosters. And it's just turned into this weird academy sub free for all. But that's part of the problem with the lock-in tournament, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. Because today is Betty White's birthday. It is no secret that I am unashamedly pro game show, and therefore I'm unashamedly pro Betty White. We are gonna spend a little bit of the time on the show today talking about Betty White as well. And to answer your question, Toby, I actually had booze this afternoon and it didn't help. So, yeah. In fact, I think booze might have made the problem worse.
Well, this is why other things exist.
Yeah, no, I felt sick as a dog today because probably just a general lack of sleep. Haven't been getting too much of that lately. No, I did my experimental alcohol day. Because the side company thing that I do, we do alcohol stuff, and today was our experimental day. So we had some friends over, experimenting was done, and my stomach was just saying F you all day. Like I had triggered my mushroom allergy kind of bad.
Toby, for this
Sounds like
one.
you need Gangplank's oranges.
Gangplank's oranges, remove scurvy would have actually probably helped in this situation a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear all CC. Yeah, I was definitely CC'd earlier.
With this one, Toby, you prepared to pay for a flight? And yes, experimenting.
Yes, Toby, you were aware of the pie. That is all that will be said on air. So what do you want to get into first, Eric? You want to talk about Betty, or do you want to talk about the this monstrosity that they call a lock-in tournament?
Let's get, well, while it is, at least in the Eastern time zone, still Betty's birthday.
For another
li-
10 minutes?
Yes,
We'll do a 10-minute segment on Betty White.
I like that idea.
Excellent. I was hoping you'd go for that. Oh God, you partook in the pie. Toby, I make the pie. Anyways, enough of Toby's trolling antics. We'll get to that later. Yes, today is Betty White's 100th birthday. You know what? I would like to think that she got a very special gift from Alan Ludden today. You know, being 100 and all.
I would think so too.
I saw it earlier. I'm gonna have to. I did not save it for now, and I probably should have. I am going to have to go and like quickly scroll through my Facebook and see if I can find it very quickly. But Betty White's assistant slash assistant, I don't know how she put that. Released a photo of her today on her 100th birthday from back in the middle of last month. It's believed to be the last photo taken of her. And I tell you what, she looked great. For 100, she looked great.
And yes, she was everyone's favorite grandma. Yeah, I'm probably going to be muting my mic a lot more than I expect.
That's okay. Not the most ideal of situations, but I understand.
Look, all I'm going to say is this. You want this particular video to still potentially be monetized on YouTube, youtube.com/W2M Network, do you not?
Yes. Are we while I pull this up and get this ready? Can you tell the folks where we are today?
Absolutely, as one DJ Toby Gaming already knows, we are currently broadcasting live on Twitch, twitch.tv/W2Mnet. Go ahead, follow us, get your notifications. Down the road, we will encourage you to subscribe. We got some big things that we want to do for Twitch. In the meantime, if you are not Twitch savvy, that's entirely okay. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/W2M Network. We're also on Twitter, twitter.com/W2M Network. But the network Twitter and StreamYard do not get along, so we're also live on my personal Twitter, twitter.com/SquidSportsHead. Follow me there, live tweeting coming back in the relatively near future. If I can get to watch some good test cricket or anything of the like solo, maybe some Big Bash if it's on at a decent time of night, I'll probably do some live tweeting of that.
You know, I said I was going to live tweet the lock-in tournament, and I'm going to be honest with you, and we'll get into this a little bit more later. But
this didn't work.
Let me try copying it again. Okay, apparently I only copied half the link. Try that.
That worked. Please hold as I get on screen. And
boom. There's Betty. 5 days before Christmas. You couldn't tell.
Yeah, Toby, I am moody tonight. You don't know the 12th of it. Hang on. And also, if you hear any abnormal noises, I do apologize.
That's okay. We're used to abnormal noises here on this network, aren't we?
Yeah.
The time I need him to be listening and chime in as a crappy, disembodied voice. He's like off in headspace.
Now, for further clarity, you didn't hear anything just now, did you? Anybody listening live for Brian and your...
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, perfect. So I don't have to mute anymore tonight.
Random
then.
background sounds will be heard tonight.
That now, day late in the
My
dollar show.
God, are you on a delay or something?
I'm wondering if he is actually like completely tuned me talking out and is actually listening to the show.
No, I'm actually finishing my race seed in hopes that
Oh,
missing piece that
okay. That's all you had
is
to
actually
say.
in there.
That's all you had to say. He is extremely concentrated on a task, which is going to work in our favor
Perfect.
because he will be too distracted and concentrated to be able to troll us. Is this that tournament thing still? Yeah, see, I can't even answer. I can't ask him a question without getting an answer right, or with getting an answer right now. So,
yes, I'm just trying to see if I could have beaten this thing on my own.
yeah, he's in this tournament thing for Legend of Zelda,
Like the
which,
past or whatever.
yeah, he gets really hyper focused when he is running through, like speed running through that game.
Oh, I get hyper focused when I do a few different things. That's why when I'm in those modes, I prefer to work in silence.
That's what she said.
Different modes. I've actually been told I am way too much of a motor mouth in those situations.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. And we're going to leave that at that. Yeah, we're going to leave that at that. So yeah, Betty White. If you want to hear more from the W2M network on Betty White, go back and listen to the Life is Like a Game show. Sameless and shameless cross promotion there. I am also over on that wonderful podcast as well. What the hell is with the weird ass background? I just looked at StreamYard.
I changed it to something different for this time that was available.
We're gonna have to get something league related for that. That just looks kind of freaky.
Well, if you have something that you can,
I'll find you something. Just remind me.
Oh, you mean like how I reminded you tonight, and yet I didn't remind you enough? Or like how I reminded you for the end of the year project, and I reminded you too much?
You know what? I know you're in a mood today, so I'm gonna let that one slide, but that's the only one you get, buddy.
I'll be prepared, because at this rate we're going, unless we delve into something else in the whatever segment, I got about 3 or 4 more before the night's over.
There's always football.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the crap-ass blowout of Super Wildcard Weekend? The 4th and 6th games? That I tuned off in the beginning of the third quarter? You mean that?
Man, you really are in a mood.
Like I said, Toby doesn't know the 12th of it. You know, I'd say maybe 2/5.
Okay, 2/5 is a greater number than a 12th, that's for sure.
Yes.
Not by much though.
What are you talking about? 2/5 is like 6 times a 12th, give or take. No, wait. Hang on. No, more like 5 times.
But yes, as I was saying, Lilags, we did a wonderful tribute episode to Betty. Big thing I saw today across my social media was mainly the Betty White challenge, where people are making charitable donations to local animal rescue shelters. Fremantle made a sizable donation. I don't know how much it was, but I'm told it was sizable. in Betty White's name to the SPCA, I believe it was. Let me see if I can find that.
SPCA LA or the ASPCA?
Give me a moment. Let me see if I can find it.
All right, and you sure it was Fremantle and not On the Mall?
No,
I warned your ass in advance. I don't know why you have that look on your face.
you know, there's just certain things that we don't touch.
Yeah, and there are certain things that haven't been touched on me in months, but you don't see me bitching about it yet.
I don't know. I believe I just did. Sorry,
Yeah, you got me on that one.
I apologize. No, it's the American Humane Society is who they donated to. But yes, they sent a check over to the American Humane Society in honor of Betty White.
Toby, give me about an hour if I keep doing what I'm doing, and you'll definitely well, you won't see a smile on my face, but you'll get the idea.
But
yeah,
Buzzer.
yeah.
It looks like Buzzer matched for Mantle's contribution. I just saw that now. I didn't see
good
that
on
earlier.
them.
So
yeah, like going to a bar is a great idea.
damn it, Toby. Anyways, Betty White, we're gonna miss you. Happy birthday. Hope you and Alan did something nice.
And it's weird how we have someone, a legend in her own right, like Betty White, bringing us together even more than another legend like MLK this time of year. Shows you where we're at as a country.
Sadly, you're not wrong. Apparently, it's going to be a depressing show tonight. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have anything good to say about the lock-in tournament.
Hey,
as we move on to our next segment here. So, lock-in tournament, right? 2 words. Nobody cares. Moving on. No. Okay, we're not gonna go to that extreme. I feel like I should go to that extreme. We're not gonna go to that extreme.
Everybody needs a passion. That's what keeps life interesting. If you live without passion, you can go through life without leaving any footprints. Betty, you're a sweetheart and a genius, but I counter with that. What if the very footprints that you leave happen to be washed away by the eternal tide of consciousness and time itself? Answer me that.
Man, you really are in a mood. I would pull one of my favorite slides on you. We gotta talk, babe, after the show.
We can talk after the show. We can talk on air if the lock-in tournament runs short. It really is whatever tonight. Cookie.
So in first news, we'll get to the lock-in tournament in a moment.
Another quote.
Yeah, Toby. This is what I'm like sometimes.
Oh yeah. So Chemtech Dragon might be getting a big fat ugly axe, and it won't be big fat, or it'll be big, it'll be fat, but it sure as well won't be ugly. that whole concept is just fundamentally flawed. It's too OP. I hate it. Get rid of it, please, for the love of God. Riot seems to finally feel the same way. Apparently, they've put out client surveys. They're really combing the data super hard around the Chemtech Dragon and the Chemtech Soul buff. They are saying that at this point they are willing to rework and possibly flat out remove the Chemtech Dragon. So, which is good because it's broken, right? The buff is fucked. The Chemtech Fog is double fucked. Like it's no. Hey, look, I played the game well, and as a result of playing the game well, I'm going to get two things that make it absolutely impossible for my team to overcome my playing the game well.
Unnecessary nerfing is unnecessary, and nerfing.
I don't know if it's so much nerfing, but it's definitely it's snowballing, right? League has had this problem for a few seasons now where the game introduces snowball mechanics where once you get ahead, it becomes exceedingly impossible for the team that is behind to be able to make a comeback, right? And League has realized this, so they've tried to put in anti-snowball mechanics, like the new objective bounties that we saw go in this season, for example. But where they try to correct one problem, they just really return it to the status quo, if you will, by doing something where well, say for example, Chemtech Dragon, right? The objective is just flat out broken, right? If you get the soul, then you get this basically Scion passive where, well, it's Scion passive on steroids, right? When you die, you don't die, you become a zombie, but unlike Scion passive, where all you can do is auto attack, with the Chemtech Dragon, you get your entire champion kit and your flash and your everything else. Like you're quite literally like second life did for a few moments. I think it's like at one point it was 10 seconds. I think it's been nerfed a couple times. I think it's down to like 4 or 6 now. But if you are like an AD carry, for example, you still benefit from your life steal. So if you get a good fight, you could stay alive in that zombie form for a considerable period of time. Or at least a lot longer than, 3-4 seconds or whatever. And as well noted, I don't like anything that messes with vision control, right? Like that's I part of me wonders if the fucking balance team actually plays the game sometimes, right? Vision is already a hard problem to deal with on the map, right? We have had so many changes to vision, and we've never really had anything to counter all of those changes, if you will. Like, hell, I still remember green wards, where you could go to the shop and you could quite literally buy extra normal regular wards, right? I think you had a limit that you could carry of like 3 or 4 or something like that. There was a limit to how many you could place on the map, just like there's a limit of 3 wards per champion now. But I think part of the problem is each champion, right? You get 3 wards per player, and then you get a 4th pink ward, right? You get 1 control ward. If you're the support, you can you do your support item, but that still doesn't change how many wards you can place on the map. It just changes how many wards you can carry. So you have 20 wards per team in a game. That's if they're all being used and they're all available at the same time, right? Because you place a ward and it has 180-second cooldown. / regeneration time. And unless you're the support, more than likely you're probably not having all 3 of your wards down at once. Of your available wards down to you once, right? And the problem with that is you could ward somewhere as you push aggressively, or you control contest objectives or whatever. You may not always have the ward there to, establish your vision because it's still on cooldown. You just used it and not, somewhere else or whatever. And vision has always been a problem, right? On top of that, League continues to add champions and mechanics into the game for camouflage and stealth, right? Camouflage and stealth are another 2 big problems in the game. My thing is if you cannot see what the fuck is 100 to zeroing you, where the hell is the counterplay in that, right? How can you kill what you cannot see?
Which is why I wish I had a lamp in my fucking game.
Some champions are well designed, right? Damn it, Toby.
Perfectly timed with that comment.
The problem, right, is that some champions do run this fine line pretty well, right? Like they're pretty evenly balanced on this in their champion design. Other champions, it's like, okay, we're going to give you invisibility just for the sake of giving you invisibility. With the Chemtech fog, it's like, oh, hey, congratulations. Half of the fucking map is now covered in invisible fog bullshit, where the second that you step in it, it is 100% true invisibility, where the only thing that can see you is a control ward, sweeper, or if you get too close to somebody. And when you're behind in League of Legends, typically when you're trying to claw back, you're trying to establish vision on your side of the jungle so that you can slowly push out and see threats and plays and ganks as they're coming, right? Well, when half of your fucking jungle is covered in this chem fog bullshit and you can't ward it, you can't see it, you can't do anything with it. If you try to contest and go for Baron, for example, or if you try to contest and go for Dragon, depending on which side you're on and you're losing, oh, hey, look, here's a 5-man death bush. And there's no bushes. It's, oh, hey, look, here's 5-man death fog. And boom, you're dead before you can even do anything. And it's just, it does not make the game fun. Flat out. Developers have admitted, the Balance team has admitted that they might have to make the drastic call of removing it from the game full stop. They have acknowledged that this is a possibility, and they've acknowledged that it's on the table, which quite frankly is a good thing, right? Because League has had a history in the past of doubling down on shit that doesn't work, right? Much like Fnatic doubled down on Upset, even though he was in the wrong. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? I'm not salty. Oh, wait a minute. Hi, welcome to the salty episode of Life is Like a Game Show or whatever. And yes, I just called this Life is Like a Game show. These things
See-
happen.
Yes. All I'm going to say to that is yes. Normally I would have more, but yes.
No, you're listening to League to the Max or whatever here on the W2M Network, a presentation of the W2M Network live on quite a few different places: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook.
We're not live on YouTube.
Sometimes we're
however-
live on YouTube.
Yeah, that's mainly a Radulich thing, or if there's like very time sensitive big events.
And streaming pretty much wherever you want to get your podcast fix at. There, I've done our hour plug, and it hasn't even been 30 minutes into the show yet. Wonderful.
31 and change, technically.
You're welcome. I gave you that.
I'm the one just staring at the clock and trying to be peaceful.
But yeah, they went on Twitter, or sorry, not Twitter. They went on Reddit. Ugh, Reddit. And they said,
Whoa.
I'm not a fan of Reddit. I'm sorry. It's not my preferred platform.
I must teach you the ways of dark Reddit, good sir.
I'm
You will
aware
thank
of,
me.
trust me, I am aware of dark Reddit.
So if you're aware of dark Reddit, how can you not like it?
No matter how good the 1% of something is, sometimes that good 1% still can't outweigh the bad 99%. I think I said that right.
But it's more of a, that's the thing though. You can fine tune like a beautiful sculpture, tailor that 1% perfectly until you're sitting there looking at a fine conversation piece on your coffee table. Then the rest of the 99% can fade into oblivion out of your existence at your own choosing.
We can talk more about this later. So yeah, Riot is on Reddit. They said, we're fielding a survey. It'll be a bit before we get results. The Reddit and English-speaking social media backlash is clear, but that hasn't always meant players overall disliked a feature in the past.
See, Toby agrees with me.
Shut up, Toby. And in parentheses, they quote, this does not mean Reddit feedback is worthless, just that y'all are a subset of players and we want good data. So I anticipate a few more very heavy-handed changes to that dragon. I think by mid-season. So right around mid-season play, or right around the end of the spring split, we will know 100% for sure if it will remain. If it remains, it'll be in the game forever. If it doesn't, you know what? No love lost.
I mean, he kind of does have a point with that one. Indecision telling me to shut up is like asking your only listener to leave. Oh, wait.
Damn it, Toby. So talking about the lock-in tournament, right? I don't like the lock-in tournament. I tuned into it. I think this is the second year in a row. Yeah, this is the second year in a row that they've done the lock-in tournament. I didn't like it last year. I'm doubling down on that. I don't like it even more this year, right? They introduced it last year because everybody QQ'd about fucking the NA needs development, right? Because it's true, North America does need development as a region, but this is not how to do it. We have basically just created a month long tournament at the beginning of the split before anything is official. People are still trying to get their visas and get into the country and scrim and practice, and like, oh well, we're creating practice opportunities by creating a tournament. No, this is not the right way to do this.
I completely agree that that's a bullshit strategy. B, QQ is still a thing?
We're on the salty train tonight. Okay, excuse me for showing my age. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to match the vibe here.
That's okay. It's just, well, all right, things are starting to get shiny. That's a good sign.
But here's the problem. Like, here's the rub with the lock-in tournament, right? I said it before. I'll say it again. I wish this were the punchline. It's the punchline, but not in the, like, joke punchline, right? 2 words. Nobody cares. Alternatively, 4 words. Who gives a fuck?
I like that one better.
Multiple teams are not using their main rosters, right? Because the main rosters are plagued with visa issues. Delta Omni COVID Cron is a thing.
So basically, you're saying this is like the African Championship of Nations instead of the African Cup of Nations.
I'm just gonna nod my head and say yes, even though I have no idea what the hell you just said.
Long story short, as a prelude to Soccer to the Max episode coming at some point, there are 2 separate tournaments for the Confederation of African Football, their continental championship. The African Cup of Nations is open to everybody. That's the tournament that your top players play in. Whereas the African Championship of Nations is only open to national players who are playing in that particular nation's domestic league.
Okay, to some extent, then, yeah.
It's like, all right, you know how you have teams with tournaments with local players and then others with players who play internationally? That's the main difference. You get your local guys to duke out one, you get your big time international stars to duke out another. We do the same thing here in the US for our Gold Cup, which is mostly MLS players, and other big tournaments where we bring in our international stars.
Okay.
I figure if I can't educate you on cricket, I can educate you on this.
You haven't tried to educate me on cricket yet.
Wait a minute, I didn't send you that video?
No, you didn't.
All right, I'm going to rectify that.
So Golden Guardians, Dignitas, TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid. What do all of these teams have in common? They're not using they are using part or all of their academy rosters in this tournament. So here's the question, right? We have a tournament. What's the prize?
Bragging rights, exposure.
Yeah, pretty much. The same shit you give to a starving artist or, you know, a up and coming model, you know, yeah, same shit. Yes, I went there. Hashtag no shame. Yeah, no, pretty much bragging rights. Yeah, no, I mean, ultimately, this tournament just absolutely does not matter, right? There is no international implications in this at all whatsoever. There's no domestic implications in this tournament at all whatsoever, right? You were quite literally competing for bragging rights and a modest prize pool, and I'll say modest because $150,000 is not horrible, right? It's probably a drop in the bucket compared to what most of these organizations pull in sponsorships and prize money overall through the year from other bigger tournaments. But because I'm pretty sure, like Worlds, that $150,000 is a split prize pool.
Oh yeah. And I sent you 2 videos. Watch the second one first.
Okay. But at the end of the day, if you're a team in the LCS right now, you have 2 options, right? And for for some of these teams, the decision's already made up for them. You either choose to have your rosters play in stage games in the hopes of winning some shiny trophy made by a guy in Atlanta, because I know the guy, his name is Vulpin Props. He does amazing work. Big in the Atlanta Dragon Con community, but he's made a couple of the Riot trophies. So yeah, you either play this tournament that's a month long in hopes of winning a very shiny trophy made by a guy in Atlanta and a share of $150,000 prize pool, or you turn around and you gain a couple extra weeks of practice time, right? If you're a team that takes international play seriously, which frankly all of these teams should be, but not all of them are, the choice is a no-brainer. At least to me, it's a no-brainer. Why the fuck bother with the lock-in tournament? Send your academy guys in, get them the exposure, get them, the stage time or whatever, and they'll be better off for it, right? The bigger problem with this tournament at the moment right now, right? With Delta Omni COVID Cron being what it is.
And Flurona.
Delta Omni Flu Rona Comicron. There you go. We need to write that down. I liked that. You see, it got a good chuckle out of it. I like that.
Hang on, I think I can. You can keep talking. I'm. Whoa. Okay. My plan has worked.
Okay. Is that a good thing? Does this mean less cranky Dr. Manhattan?
Slightly less cranky.
Okay, good.
More philosophical potentially if you say the right thing. So just. Ooh.
I know what that ooh is. Or at least I'm pretty damn sure I know what that ooh is. Yeah, no. So with Delta Omni Flu Rona Comicron.
Not distracted in the way that you would think. That was a different ooh.
Okay, so it wasn't what I thought it was. Okay. Some of these players are still stuck at home. Like, these imports are still stuck at home, right? Hell, back in 2021, we couldn't get Broxar Santorin over here in time. Because nobody could process their visas. We're having the same fucking problem again. We got guys stuck in Korea. There's, I think, one or two still stuck over in Europe somewhere. Hell, fucking Golden Guardians had to pull Stixay, their ADC coach Stixay, out of retirement to play because their current AD carry can't get a visa. Oh God, what team is he on? Core JJ, right? They're having to Team Liquid. There we go. I'm like, why can't I think of that? Core JJ and Han Sama are splitting time during the lock-in tournament because of green card complications. Core JJ cannot get his green card at the moment. So that means that their roster has 3 imports. So they're rotating their academy support and Core JJ during the tournament. Their bot lane is kind of their bot lane is playing a Price is Right pricing game known as flip flop. They're either going to flip or they're going to flop, but they can't flip flop.
They can flip flop.
They can't have both of the. They have 3 players, right? So they sub in. They either take the academy AD carry and play and play an import support, or they play their native academy. They play their import AD carry and play their native support.
Sounds more like a switch rather than a flip flop.
Whatever. But if Core JJ can't get the green card, they're going to have to bench him. They have to bench him, Han Sama, or Bwipo, right? They're not going to bench Bwipo. They spent an arm and a fucking leg on Bwipo, getting him to come over from Fnatic, although that was a sinking ship to begin with. So,
I mean, you've had top prize players make so much money only to ride the bench before. Seeing them on the sidelines, holding their clipboard, cashing their checks, sometimes with their helmet up to their ear, knowing that they're internally so pissed off, but then when they see their bank account, they know those feelings are only temporary.
Yep, the man's gone philosophical. But yeah, no. If Core JJ cannot get the green card as anticipated to make him an actual resident this year, Team Liquid's got a big roster problem, right? Because they're going to have to either continue to play switcheroo or another Price is Right pricing game, by the way. They're either going to have to continue to play switcheroo, or somebody's going to ride the bench permanently. And somebody from Academy is going to get an early promotion. But like I said, back to talking about, lock-in, right? I can't take any of these games seriously, right? I sat down, I did watch the 3 days this weekend. Sven got like 3 pentakills or something like that. Not bad for a guy who's allegedly washed up and doesn't really have a starting roster on a team at the moment. Then again, he's playing against mostly academy kids who are not as well versed and seasoned in the game. So take that with the grain of salt that it requires. But there is absolutely zero reason for any of these organizations to split hairs about fielding their entire rosters for Academy, right? Or not for Academy, excuse me, for the lock-in tournament, right? They're fielding their Academy players for the lock-in tournament because, like I said earlier, who gives a fuck? and this goes back to, this is putting, remember we talked about back in December, or sorry, not back in December, back during Worlds, right? We talked about ex Cloud9 coach Mithy talking about the scrim environment in North America. This is a band-aid on that problem. And the problem is you're trying to put a tiny band-aid on a gash that needs stitches.
I think the proper analogy is Band-Aid on a broken leg.
I've never heard that before, but I'll take your word for it.
You've never seen the movie Volcano? Anne Heche, Tommy Lee Lewis?
I do like Tommy Lee Lewis, but no, I haven't seen that one.
It's a good movie, especially if it came out in 1997. For those of you who are fans of TMZ, you'll be getting a special Easter egg that they will never speak about.
But this is putting the Band-Aid on a broken leg that is the North American scrim environment, right? They're like, oh, well, we'll just create this useless tournament at the beginning of the season so you guys get a little bit of practice time, a little bit more on-stage practice time, because you're complaining that you're not getting enough on-stage practice time, right? Here's the rub. We don't want on-stage practice time. We don't want to play the same 80 people for 16 weeks straight and then go international and have our asses handed to us because we don't have the right read on the meta and we're not getting adequate practice.
I mean, Toby might be right about this. A, some people prefer to be on stage. And B, every sport needs some sort of preseason. They're just taking an absolute dog shit approach to preseason.
Here's the thing. Here's my rub with that, right? NA is creating a preseason that doesn't exist anywhere else in League.
All right, you do have a point there.
League is not preseason is December, the holidays, when they release the big patches. You get a month and a half to get familiar with the big changes that are coming. That is preseason. Preseason is not, okay, here's patch XX.1. Go have fun. Here's, 2, 3, 4 weeks of preseason where nothing matters. And why the hell are you playing this anyways? You should be doing actual serious practice.
So the games are made up. So the games are made up and the results don't matter?
All right, you can have it.
I wasn't even shooting for anything on that one. To be honest,
you earned a monkey. Have your goddamn monkey.
Well, if you insist.
But the problem with North America, right, is its geography in this case, right? It is extremely difficult for North America to scrim international players because of time zone differences, lag disparity, availability, so on and so forth, right? We've talked about this before, but the Asian regions, right? Asia teams and Asian leagues, very minimal time disparity, very minimal geographic boundary issues. They're all able to scrim each other with relative ease, right? There's close proximity there. LEC, okay, not so much them being able to scrim the Asian teams, but have you seen the depth and breadth of freaking the European regional leagues? When the heck did this go from League to the Max to Life is Like a Game Show to a damn geography lesson to whatever? Everything past the League of Legends is the whatever, Toby. That's why the show is named League to the Max or whatever. We go on tangents a lot. They're related tangents, but we go on tangents a lot. Am I not wrong over there, Mr. Chompy McChomp Chomp?
Look, number one, these cookies are delicious. Number two, we are not the particular podcast artists that many other networks are. We do not sit and finally create this wonderful landscape, a vineyard of finely ripened, beautifully manicured tomatoes that will eventually, as all things do, rot amongst the vines before our very eyes anyway. We appreciate our time and our seats at the theater of the absurd, and we get the best cheap matinee tickets.
I don't know how to respond to that, so I'm going to continue with my point.
Okay.
LEC is not in the worst situation in the world, right? They have the 972 European regional leagues, not an actual number, to scrim against, right?
I can answer that question off air, Toby.
So it's, it ain't the end of the world for them. They can, they instead of 80 people to scrim, it's more like over 9,000.
What? 9,000? There's no way that can be right.
No, that's right.
Can it?
Okay, he got that reference. He's not totally lost it.
And again, Toby, to answer that, we're gonna have to do some heavy negotiations.
Honestly, the thing that the lock-in tournament provides, it provides League of Legends content for the fans, but at what cost? And if you're a team that does decide to take the lock-in seriously, I think it does give you an opportunity to build on-stage synergy, right? Which is something that sometimes we don't see materialize in the first couple of weeks of the season. It's not uncommon at the beginning of a season to see, players in post-game interviews saying, oh, you know what, our cohesion, our synergy just isn't quite there yet. Give it another couple of weeks or two on stage and we'll be a, fully functioning team or whatever. But here's the thing, right? Overall, I think it misses the mark on the whole thing, right? Because if you don't provide an appropriate incentive, what's the point? And at the end of the day, that's the problem here. There's no appropriate incentive, which the teams and the organizations realize, so they have responded accordingly, which is, what's the point?
Oh, you mean 42?
So while I'm watching the tournament, I don't know how much of it I consider newsworthy, right? Especially when half of the teams in this tournament don't even have their spring split starting rosters playing. And they're having to substitute in academy players, or like I mentioned earlier, in the case of Golden Guardians, one of their freaking coaches.
Well, at least the Guardians are taking note from their NBA owners. I mean, it worked out well for the Golden State Warriors that year.
Yeah, it's not working out very well for them in this tournament. So
See, why do you assume we're professionals? We haven't gotten paid yet.
no, I'm trying to. I don't. First of all, I'm trying to not yell only because it's 12:45 in the morning. If we had started the show on time earlier, when I was, feeling like absolute utter crap, yeah, I probably would be a little bit louder. And I just naturally rock in my seat. Like that's just I don't sit still. But I have to say, we have seen Bjergsen playing for Team Liquid. Team Liquid has fielded most of their roster. I think they only have like one change in. I don't remember who though. Oh, right. It's not really so much a change, it's the whole core JJ situation. So they have academy players in, but I gotta admit, I gotta be honest with you. I saw Bjergsen play, and I'm like, I'll put this in a game show reference because I'm good at that. This is Dawson coming back in '94 when he should have stayed retired.
Hot take.
I'll mark that tape and we'll discuss that when we do our proper deep dive into the show.
You do that. Like, don't get me wrong. He's still good. He's still got it, right? But he isn't exactly out there wowing people and impressing them. That's the point I'm making. But yeah, no, we get 3 more weeks of this lock-in crap. Maybe I'm being a little overly critical on the tournament, but
considering some of the running jokes that you presented to me off air, are you really?
You might have to refresh my memory.
The whole with the acronym and the casters and all this and that.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do have a new segment here on League to the Max or whatever.
Check the tweets.
No.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you're looking at me like, what the hell I said new segment, and that was like a moth to a flame for you.
New segment?
Look, some people prefer to run on the treadmill, thinking that they can reach that ever-present carrot dangling on a stick in front of them. Give them hope. It's all they have.
You really have gone philosophical tonight on me. What the fuck? Yes, we have our new segment of the week, the Twitch copy pasta of the week. And I get a disapproving head shake and a storm into another room.
No, I'm going to fuck to sleep.
Yeah, you do that, buddy.
Samuel L. Jackson appreciates you.
Yes, our Twitch copy pasta of the week. We had quite a few pauses during the games over the weekend, and it got to the point where Twitch chat, the weird being that it is, has created a copy pasta for the pauses, and it is LCS, aka literally casters stalling, is a rapidly declining wild card region recognized by their remakes and paused games. The name stems from the caster's ability to talk nonstop but say absolutely nothing during pauses. Which, with some of the pause banter that was going on between some of those guys on air, this weekend wasn't entirely inaccurate. They dove pretty off the deep end into what we call whatever land here on our show. On air over the weekend in some cases. So, yeah. But that is the copy pasta of the week. Tune in next week where we'll have another copy pasta. And we'll talk about this more in a future episode, but I don't really feel like going into it today. I still don't feel that hot. So I think we're gonna cut it. They're gonna cut the episode a little bit short this week. But we do have one thing we're gonna wrap on. I'm gonna post it in the chat here. Maybe we can pull it up. Maybe we don't. I don't know. I don't care. But Immortals and Progressive Insurance announcing a multi-year League of Legends naming rights deal. Immortals will go by the name Immortals Progressive. And yeah. Speaking of sponsorships, FTX, the cryptocurrency. FTX, the cryptocurrency, is sponsoring the LCS officially now. They were sponsoring TSM first. TSM is still not allowed to use their name of TSM FTX. You want to hear a rant? Tune in next week because I'm going to need something to talk about because lock-ins are still going to be shit. But yeah, Immortals Progressive. Weird. Anyways, that's all we got for this week. You got anything, viewer?
The analyst in Matrix Resurrections was right. Hope and despair really are the same code when it comes to the vast programming of the human mind. Are we really destined to be like this until we reach the singularity? Will we see the dawn of a new era when all that is humanity can be compressed into just 900 lines of typing? What would that be like? Would it be really indistinguishable from things now? Or would it just be a cross between the room full of monkeys on typewriters trying to recreate Shakespeare and a gigantic gyms full of people on treadmills with their own carrots and sticks? As we sit in this, what we know is vast emptiness, just getting greater and greater, knowing at a time far from now, in eons where we and our minds cannot even fathom, there will be just one last dying light, one show of interstellar fireworks to know that our universe even existed to begin with before the infinite oblivion of darkness.
You've been listening to League of the Max or whatever. Very heavy emphasis on the whatever this evening. I am Brian Andesian Espinoza. We are the W2M Network. You can find us online, Google W2M Net, or search for W2M Network in your podcast provider of choice because there's too many of them and I don't feel like doing the spiel tonight.
Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, Castbox, Overcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Pods, Apple Pods. If you name it, we're on it.
Yeah, that's been a show. I almost forgot. LEC has actually started their split and is not doing any preseason lock-in bullshit. Interesting results out of them so far. The biggest thing we saw was Mad Lions did take a game off of G2, which was it was an upset loss. Other than that, Rogue and Fnatic are 3-0 on standings right now, tied for first, and then G2 and Misfits are 2-1. Or sorry, G2, Misfits, and Mad Lions are all tied for third at 2-1. And then at the bottom of the roster, we have SK Gaming, XL, and Team BDS all at 1 and 2. And then Astralis and Team Vitality are 0 and 3. And if you remember Team Vitality, that's where Perks ended up. So not a good start to that season for Perks so far. At least I believe that's where Perks ended up.
And I think we covered the big announcement that we teased about last week, didn't we?
I don't know. Did we?
Mark Z, I believe. I know I put it in the show description.
Yeah. I think we talked about that briefly. Mark Z is due to the way that Riot is restructuring their broadcast talent. Will be rotating on the desk. This is a case that seems to be the thing with a lot of the broadcast talent in the LCS. I'm pretty sure we covered this last week.
All right, making sure.
But yeah, no. Team Vitality, I had to confirm because I don't know why, but I kind of double took in my mind there. Yeah, not a good start to the season for Perks. We'll see if he can come back from that as the season progresses. It's only been 1 week. So bad week for him. And that's it. That's the show. That's all she wrote. The fat lady has sung. The fat lady was not Betty White. Betty White was not fat. However, Betty White does have a pretty good singing voice. Happy birthday, Betty White. We miss you dearly. Gone too soon. Same with Bob Saget. Same with Jay Wolpert. That does. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.